The South Korean entertainment industry was thrown into absolute turmoil today, as representatives of Lee Jong Suk and IU confirmed that the couple, once considered one of the most beloved and unshakable pairings in K-biz, have officially ended their 3-year relationship. The announcement, delivered quietly through their agencies but spreading like wildfire across social media, immediately ignited disbelief, heartbreak, and intense speculation. Fans who had followed every step of their journey, from their first meeting as co-hosts on Inkigayo to years of unwavering public support, found themselves stunned by the suddenness of the news. Within minutes, hashtags tied to their breakup dominated online platforms, and the entertainment world held its breath as new details began to emerge. According to insiders close to both sides, the decision was not impulsive nor rooted in scandal, but was something the couple had struggled with for months. One source reportedly shared, "They tried everything. They kept choosing each other again and again, but in the end, they realized they were walking two different paths." This statement only increased the emotional weight behind the breakup, painting a picture not of anger or betrayal, but of two people fighting for a relationship that simply could not survive the pressure surrounding them. When reporters reached out for official statements, Lee Jung-suk's agency responded with a short, heavy line. "He is heartbroken. Please respect his privacy." Those 7 words hit many fans harder than they expected. Later in the afternoon, Lee Jong-suk himself appeared in front of cameras at a small press room in Seoul, wearing a simple black coat and a pale expression that betrayed the sleepless night he must have endured. His voice trembled from the very first moment he held the microphone. "I thought love could overcome everything," he said quietly, his gaze fixed on the floor as flashes burst around him. "For a long time, I believed we could stay together no matter how difficult it became. But the truth is, sometimes love is not enough, no matter how much you give." There was a long pause before he continued, fighting back emotion. "I'm sorry to everyone who supported us, and I'm sorry to her for not being able to protect what we had." IU, on the other hand, chose to deliver her message through a handwritten letter posted on her official fan cafe. Her tone was soft but painfully sincere, the kind of message that left readers wiping tears from their eyes. "The years we spent together were filled with warmth, but as time passed, we realized that we were growing in different directions. We didn't want to hold each other back. I will always cherish the comfort he gave me, the way he understood my silence, and the gentleness he carried in everything he did." She ended the letter with the line that sent a wave of heartbreak across the internet. "He was my safe place, but even safe places change." As the dust settled, the inevitable question emerged. What exactly caused the breakup of a relationship that seemed so steady, so genuine, and so admired? For months, the couple had carefully shielded their private life, only allowing small glimpses to the public. Behind the scenes, however, both were struggling with overwhelming schedules that forced them into long periods of separation. Lee Jong-suk, who has been deeply involved in several major acting projects and international commitments, reportedly found himself constantly traveling and preparing for back-to-back roles. IU, who spent much of the past year working on her album, endorsements, and a demanding concert tour, faced exhaustion and constant pressure from her tightly packed agenda. Their worlds, once beautifully intertwined, were slowly being pulled apart by the very careers that made them who they are. One insider from the production team of Lee Jong-suk's upcoming film shared a telling moment. He would check his phone every break, hoping for a message or a missed call. When the time difference became too much and schedules kept clashing, he looked more tired than any one of us had ever seen him. Meanwhile, IU's close friend reportedly revealed she cried a lot during the tour, not because of work, but because she felt like they were drifting. She didn't know how to stop it. Still, there was more to the breakup than simply conflicting schedules. A deeper, more emotional reason was quietly confirmed by someone very close to the couple. They had different visions for the future. While many fans assumed marriage was the natural next step after 3 years of dating, it appears the two were not aligned in their long-term goals. Jong Suk, now in his mid-30s, had reportedly begun to think seriously about settling down. Those around him claimed he had even confided, "I want a family someday. I don't want to wait too long," hinting that he was ready to take their relationship to the next level. IU, however, was said to be hesitant, not because she did not love him, but because she still had dreams she felt she could not abandon yet. Her new projects, her music, her acting, her entire artistic identity made it difficult for her to commit to a future she wasn't ready to shape yet. This emotional mismatch, according to sources, slowly created an unspoken tension between them. Neither wanted to pressure the other, neither wanted to be the reason the other felt suffocated. As one friend put it, they loved each other deeply, but love doesn't erase fear. And both of them were afraid of hurting each other, afraid of making the wrong choice, afraid of giving too much or asking too much. The final conversation between the pair, held quietly in a private cafe they had often visited in their early days, was described as calm but devastating. A witness recalled seeing IU wiping her eyes while Jong Suk sat frozen, his hands tightly clenched on the table. It wasn't a fight. It was two people trying to be strong for each other, even while their hearts were breaking. It was in that moment that they both agreed to step back rather than continue a relationship built on increasing emotional strain. Even after the announcement, fans continued to hope for reconciliation someday, but the tone of their messages suggests acceptance rather than anger. Sometimes grown-up love means letting go, one fan commented online. Another wrote, "They loved sincerely. That's why it hurts so much. But I respect them for choosing peace over pressure." Perhaps the most heartbreaking detail came from a staff member who worked with IU on her latest recording. While packing up equipment late at night, the singer reportedly murmured to herself, "I hope he finds someone who can walk beside him without fear." On the other side, a stylist close to Lee Jong-suk shot that the actor had whispered quietly, "I thought I could hold on a little longer, but I guess I wasn't enough." The breakup of Lee Jong-suk and IU marks the end of one of the most cherished stories in the entertainment world, a romance built on mutual respect, sincerity, and years of shared history. But even though the sadness that now surrounds them, the way they chose to part, with maturity, honesty, and gratitude, reminds the world that sometimes even the most beautiful love must be released so both hearts can heal. Their story may have ended, but the tenderness they showed one another will linger in the memories of fans for many years to come. Even after the official statements had been released, the atmosphere in Seoul felt strangely heavy, as if an invisible cloud of sadness had settled over the city. News broadcasts replayed clips of Lee Jong-suk's trembling voice again and again, while online communities scrutinized every word in IU's handwritten letter. But what most people didn't know was that behind closed doors, both individuals were still processing the emotional aftermath of a decision they had postponed countless times. A staff member who worked with Lee Jong-suk that evening described a heartbreaking scene. When everything was over, he stayed alone in the dressing room for almost an hour. He didn't cry loudly. He just sat there quietly, staring at a photo he kept on his phone. It was a picture of them taken last spring. He whispered, "This shouldn't have been our ending." The staff member said no one dared disturb him. It was the kind of grief that didn't need words to be understood. On IU's side, her manager revealed that she had canceled a private studio session the night before the announcement. The reason, though simple, was deeply human. She couldn't sing. Her voice kept breaking, unable to maintain the emotional strength needed to perform. According to him, IU spent nearly 2 hours sitting in front of the microphone, clutching a small bracelet that Lee Jung-suk had given her on their first anniversary. The manager recalled, "She said she wanted to record a song for him, something he would never hear, something she would never release, just a song she needed to pour out of her heart. But every time she tried, tears blurred her vision, and she could barely get past the first line of the lyrics. Eventually, she placed the bracelet back into its velvet box and said softly, "Maybe someday, when it doesn't hurt this much." That moment captured the raw vulnerability she had been hiding from the public for months. What has made this breakup particularly devastating to fans is the realization that their love was neither shallow nor temporary. It was real, intertwined with memories that both sides had guarded fiercely. In one poignant recollection from a close acquaintance, the pair had once spent a quiet winter night discussing their hopes and fears for the future. IU, often calm and introspective, told Jong Suk, "If I ever lose myself in this world, I hope you'll be the one to pull me back." And Jong Suk replied, "Then don't worry, I'll always reach for you first." These are the words many fans remember when they think of the couple, making the breakup feel even more tragic.